Okay, so predicting the future again here. Now, this might be more directed to uh, the companies that intend to make products associated with and/or uh, already have products available that will be used in the drone delivery and personal aerial vehicle era that we're on top of right now. This is kind of more directed to them, somewhat. I don't know why. Uh, so, mm, well, it's so. Like I was saying in my other video, there is the ability presently that literally once these items are needed and put together, we already have to make drone delivery a legitimate thing. All squared up with the FAA. Specific guidelines are met. We need these vehicles need to be able to handle uh, air conditions. Okay, air conditions, as some of us may already know, and most of us may already know. Uh, when you get into an airplane, sometimes you'll experience turbulence. Well, that's changes in the air around the airplane that cause it to shake and do whatever. So the the drone delivery vehicles and the personal air vehicles will definitely have to be able to remain stable in changing air conditions. Okay, so for the people who are designing these vehicles, they're already working on stabilizing uh, mechanisms for their machines, for these machines. Okay, which is it's going to be a lot of computer related stuff. Now we uh, pilots now, the best pilots out there now, whether they're flying commercial aircraft or they're flying military aircraft, their reflexes and stuff do a lot of the work, you know. But even now, the best pilots still have systems in place in their vehicle uh, that help them. That are aware of mechanical operational consistencies. Like your oil pressure, just basic stuff like that. But there's more advanced. The commercial flyers can put their airplanes basically on cruise control. The plane flies itself. Uh, at least this is what they show in the movies. I believe it to be true. Um, and then there's the other kinds. Uh, the on the uh, private side or the military side, there's drone aircrafts that can be flown from a desk uh, on the other side of the world. Um, so anyway, I don't want to lose track. We're talking about the air and the stability, keeping these aircraft stable in changing air conditions. Changing weather conditions even. And the good thing about this is this will help our scientists be better explorers. Okay, so I believe that if we can design these things to remain stable in hurricane force winds and gale force winds, and even, now this is a real challenge, even into tornadoes can remain stable in tornadoes. And now, according to the movies and that I've seen, now I'm not a tornado expert by any means, but if there are those interior funnels inside the big funnel that spin much faster, to either be able to get bumped by them, take a direct hit from them, and still be able to remain in flight without much of an issue. And now a lot of that's going to be the computer ability, the system's ability to recognize, hey, there's this high-speed vortex coming to me. If I shift this way a little bit, I can stay out of the way of this vortex, which could create other problems. And now just the high winds and the vortexes within the high winds inside a tornado aren't the only issue. You have debris flying. So, our little drone delivery vehicles are going to have to be able to sense the debris and be like, oh, there's a mailbox flying towards me. I better move out of the way, So, and again, I'm going to say this again. The technology that we need to make these units are out there. I have some design ideas if people are interested, but the technology and the ability is out there to start putting these things together. And I talked about the science thing. I'm just going to continue on that for a minute. Science and exploration. So not only is building this technology, these vehicles, to withstand super high winds, they'll make us, the consumer, way more comfortable. Way more comfortable, We're not going to be like, oh my gosh, I got to land this thing and get out of the way or whatever, Because right now, we can get into a vehicle and we can avoid getting wet when it rains because we're inside our vehicle. That's easy, We don't have to pull the vehicle over when it's raining because windshield wipers were developed. It seems simple, but it's processes like these that'll have to happen, and that can easily be accounted for when we're putting these vehicles together. So, back to the science and exploration. So, we send satellites out and we're checking other moons out and other planets out, and we want to know more about them. So, like Jupiter's a big deal, and there's a pressure thing, and we know there's high winds. If we ever want to get inside Jupiter's atmosphere, we're going to need a vehicle that can handle it. And this is a start. We're designing our own aerial vehicles to withstand winds safely. Heavy winds safely. It's going to make it much more possible for us to build similar machines to lower in, for now, the upper reaches of Jupiter's atmosphere. And there's pressures and everything else that have to be dealt with there, but the ability to withstand those heavy winds will already be built in, right now. And there are ways to do it. There are ways to make it safe, like I was talking about with the tornadoes and debris, and in a worst case situation, their design is not, even if they take a hit, it's not gonna wreck the thing. It's not gonna damage the thing beyond its ability to land itself safely. Okay, uh, pretty much the same way we have in vehicles right now. When we're driving a car, a bird hits us. You know, big deal. It was a bird. You know, whatever. Uh, Unless the driver is whatever, I don't even know what to say, but you know, your windshield might get cracked. You can safely pull over. You know, if you remain calm about the situation, you can safely pull over and even continue to drive the vehicle uh, until the windshield gets repaired. Or if a deer runs into the side of your vehicle while you're driving down the road, you know, you remain calm and you can pull over and take care of it, take care of the deer if that's even possible. But you may be able to get back in your vehicle and drive it to the repair shop, or even just keep driving it with the dent in your car. So these drone delivery and aerial vehicles will also be able to take a hit without immediately putting them out of service. You know, this is the way they're going to be designed. So any concerns you may have about sorry, I stepped out of the picture. Design concerns, you can call this number. Okay, this company here takes in ideas that will help the future, that will help solve some of these problems. And there are ways and designs for these specifically already. There are designs specifically for these drone vehicles and personal air vehicles that can alleviate 99% of the concern that anybody has today with how our flying vehicles are propelled through the air, how they are propelled through the air. So that company I just showed you, they have a design, just one, I'm sure of many that will be come up. They have one right now, and it's a very good one. So science and exploration, you know, is a big vantage point for this too, because like everything I just said, these drone delivery vehicles and personal air vehicles will be able to withstand heavy hard winds and take minor bumps from flying debris and other objects. Something else too, now with the development of these things, is let's talk about safety. We have to talk about safety. You know, when cars were first being developed, no one thought about airbags. You know, we all have seen what airbags can save, and they're a very important safety feature. And it's unfortunate we had to learn the hard way about it, but we are doing the best we can, and airbags are saving lives. They're saving a lot of lives. Seatbelts are saving lives. So safety features in these, and we should be able to learn how to build a vehicle from what we already know. So it's pretty much common sense. Okay, so let's talk major collision in the air. What do? You know, well, let's look at the basics. Okay, there's a couple different options. We're going to have to be able to still have as much operational capability as possible. Okay, we're still going to need to be able to steer, hopefully. some other ideas, maybe putting little tiny, tiny little wings that can pop up. You know, just tiny little things, just enough to change the direction, help keep it level, stuff like that. Have an emergency parachute. What's the big deal? You know, how much does a parachute cost when it comes to saving a life? You know, and if we're going to have everybody in these things, you know, no one wants to be in a major catastrophe. No one wants to be in a major accident. So let's build these things so the protection is to the best of our ability right from the start. Right from the start. So, you know, we could have like an emergency parachute system attached to the machine itself. You know, all else fails, the parachute deploys. You know, the little pop out wings or guidance directors, I guess, guidance directors, in case of mass catastrophe and this thing's got to float or at least guide itself to a safer landing spot. That should be designed right in to the initial build. Let's see here. Where am I at time-wise? All right. So we got a little bit more time. Let's see. Business aspect of it. Now, science and exploration. Sorry, I'm just talking out loud. I don't know, what am I missing? And get back into international travel and passports and our ability like that. Communications. So communications, you know, we already have all this translating software right now. It's out there. I say we, I'm talking about every human on Earth. Or with a cell phone or whatever. We have an ability right now to translate. So if we wanted to, gosh, I'm jumping way off subject here. Anyway, the translating stuff could be built into the communications thing, and it's immediate translating. In case you're talking to somebody in a country that doesn't speak the same language, you'll be able to communicate efficiently. And if you need to speed up that communication, again, here's a company that has a great idea for that. Okay. So, I'm sponsoring that company. Let's see here. Oh, and along with that company in this phone number that you see here, if you have an idea that you think can be used towards the betterment of this future, call this number. Wish I could say I get paid for every time I show that thing, but I don't. But yeah, it's true. If you do have an idea and you want to get involved and you're not in a position to get involved, you can call that number and the person that'll answer will do everything they can to help facilitate your idea, help facilitate it, help make it happen. And of course, it's going to cost a little bit. Right now, they try and do everything they possibly can for as little cost as possible, because they know how broke people are. Broke people are broke and they can't afford things. And sometimes broke people, all they have is their good ideas. And it's great to have good ideas, by the way. It's great to have good ideas, and it's great to work on them as much as you can without losing focus of the rest of your life. Important issues. You can't over focus. Let me see here. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop this one here, and I'll pick up later.